Okay, today I'm going to talk about my Onan generator and troubleshooting. I've been having a problem with this thing. I've been driving down the road. After about 10 or 15 minutes, it will just shut down. And of course, how I notice this, because you're driving, you can't hear it running. We'll be driving, and I notice it starts getting warm in the RV because the air conditioners have shut off. And I look down, I see my lights off. Well, I turn around, hit the button, boom, it starts right back up. It runs fine for another 15 minutes or so, and same thing, about 15 minutes it shuts down again. So after it did that, I went and came back here and pulled my codes out of it. If you press this button, I think it's 3 times within 5 seconds, it'll flash out your codes. And I was getting a code, it was code, I believe it was 36, but all 36 code means is the generator shut down without a command from the computer. You know, it shut down, but it can't tell you why it shut down. It just shut down without me telling it to shut down with a killing button or one of the sensors, nothing like that. So anyway, after I got the code, and I said, well, that doesn't tell me anything. Then I got to thinking, well, what else? You know, as I'm driving down the road and it shuts down and then just restarts. So I'm either losing spark or losing fuel. And generally, if you're losing spark, it won't just start right back up instantly. So I thought, well, maybe I'm losing fuel. So I just pulled into the campground. Same thing happened, you know, a few miles back. The engine shut down. Well, I mean, I should say the generator shut down. I didn't even bother restarting it because I wanted to try something. So now that it's shut down, if it's the fuel pump related, or if it shut down due to a lack of fuel, then I should have no fuel in this fuel bowl. So I'll take the screw loose and we'll see what happens. See, I got no fuel. So that tells me during the last shutdown, for whatever reason, it lost its supply of fuel and it sucked all the fuel completely out of the fuel bowl, ran dry, the engine shut down. So now, so I can prime it, got my prime button here, and we'll see if fuel comes out. Okay, yep, so we got fuel. So I know at the moment my fuel pump is working, and it works great. The fuel filter's not stopped up. You can see how it flows really well. Alright, now let's prime it all the way up. Oh, it shuts down. So it's filling the bowl full of fuel. There it goes. Alright, it's getting quiet now. Alright, so the bowl should be pretty well full now. Now let's see how much fuel that holds. This is going to be tough one-handed. Here we go. Set that there. Probably not. Hang on. Okay. I cracked the screw loose, and now I'm seeing how much fuel that bowl will normally hold. So, you know, the engine's not running. So I know under normal circumstances, I should be getting a little over a full ounce of fuel. Should be sitting in that bowl. But, as you see earlier, I had no fuel whatsoever. So that tells me it's the fuel pump for some reason or another. It's just becoming intermittent, which those are always fun to track down, intermittent issues. So, of course, the fuel pump on this one is pretty easy to get to. It's right under, right there it is. Right there's your fuel pump. 149, part number is 149-2620. So I jumped on Amazon and I seen where I can get those. They're 40 something bucks, I think. It's not the Onan version, it's another version, but I'll have it here in a couple days. I'll put it on and we'll see how it goes, and I'll conclude this video, and hopefully this will fix my problem. We will see. Well, I got me a fuel pump. Right here it is. E11015 Airtex. It's the direct replacement for this fuel pump itself. It looks the same. Which one here? And here is the one I'm about to replace right there. There's the part number. Yeah. There's that number, 149-2620. So get a few of these rusty bolts out, fuel lines, get it changed, and hopefully we'll get this thing running again. And as long as nothing goes horribly wrong with fittings, all that stuff, you never know what you're going to run into. So let's get to it. Alrighty, well, I've got the fuel pump loose. Wasn't too bad. I just want to point out a tip on these things. Of course, I had to get this. See sharp burrs on these fuel line fitting. You want to be very careful when you pull your line off. Here's the line that I pulled off of it. But what can happen is sometimes these will grip so hard when you pull that line off, you'll actually tear a little piece of rubber loose inside the line. And then when you shove the line back on it, it'll break free. Then that tiny sliver of rubber, when you start it back up, will work its way up through the line, get on top of it, get inside the carburetor, and stick the needle valve open, and then you flood. So sometimes you can fix one problem and cause another. So be mindful of that whenever you pull a fuel line off. Try to look down there, make sure it didn't tear off any burrs. You know, if you're in question, come back and cut it off if you got enough line, and that way you'll have fresh line. You know there's no damaged inner line in there. So got that done. Now I got this line broke loose. Now here's my next burger, this old rusty fitting, trying to get it broke loose. So if I can get that loose, I'll be in pretty good shape. And I went ahead and marked my positive and negative connections, so I know I got that connected right. So let's see if I can get that rusty old fitting loose. Been on there since 2005. So I got the rusty fitting loose, but only with the help of these line wrenches. So if you're traveling an RV, always keep you a set of line wrenches for something like that, because I probably wouldn't have got it off without that. And another thing is, because you don't know this, but I'm changing this out in the parking lot of Walmart in Fargo, North Dakota. There's the big water tower there, Fargo. So it's handy when you're working on your RV in Walmart parking lot, because if you need something, you just walk in the store and get it. So after getting this apart, I wanted to get me some thread sealant on here. So I went and got me some Permatex thread locker. So I want to make sure I have no leaks when I put this back together. Fuel leaks and RVs do not mix, so we want to make sure we do this right. So I got my thread locker, so I'm going to start putting things together, bolt it up, and do a test. Okay, new fuel pump is installed. Nice shiny new fuel pump. All the clamps are in place. Put a new clamp up here on the carburetor. Now we'll see if it will start. Ah, yeah, music to my ears. Another job finished. Now, put this back together, load up my tools, and we'll get back down the highway.